here she is, Josiane.
Hi, today we have a wonderful guest, a very special guest, Toni Carroll, multi-talent entertainer. Wonderful. Welcome to my show. And we have Danny Darrow as guest entertainer.
Yes, and we're glad we're all here. Toni.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. I'm having the best time. The show hasn't even started, and I'm having a good time. Josiane, thank you so much for
I
inviting
know
me.
we're talking about old times and everything
Yeah,
else. Toni and I have been
reminiscing.
friends for
Let's
many years.
Yes,
start
yes.
from the very beginning because it's so interesting how the way you started.
My show business career.
Right. You were born in St. Louis on an antique neighborhood background called Italian Hill.
Yeah.
And at your early age of 8, you had to come back to New York.
You've done your research.
Of course. Tell us more about that.
Okay, Josiane. Oh, yes, I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. I have a twin brother. And what happened in St. Louis at a very early age, my dad passed away, unfortunately, and my mom comes from Italian background, and her entire family lived there, her mother and her father and everybody else. So my mom just picked up the twins and brought us to Italy. So we were raised in northern Italy, in a little town called Turbigo, provincia di Milano. And so there we were, my twin brother and I. We were very happy in Italy because we were there with all the 25 cousins and all the aunts and the uncles. And as time went by, I realized that we didn't even miss our mother because we were having such a good time with all of our cousins. And the grandfather was so good to me. I just loved him. It was wonderful. And so there we were, and we went to grade school there. That's where I learned to read and write Italian. And also, I loved all the Italian music, so I used to follow all the Italian singers. But it just so happened that I came from an Italian family. And guess what happens with an Italian family?
What is it? What?
Everybody sings.
Oh,
Everybody
that's right.
sings. And so here we were in this chalet.
Yeah.
650 feet, whatever, background yard and so forth with a stairway and everything. And all the kids, the 25 cousins are out there and everybody's singing to the top of their lungs. And the adults are singing too. And constantly, I tried to sing. At that time, I was 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
And they would constantly say, "Shut up."
Oh, my goodness.
And the more they said, "Shut up," I would sing louder and louder and louder.
Well, when I first started singing, Toni, in my house in Chicago, my mother used to throw dishes at me and break all the dishes in the house.
Oh my goodness. What a family.
Yeah,
That's very funny.
But what gave you the courage? The
Oh,
courage to come
actually-
here to New York?
Well, actually, it wasn't courage, really. It's just that there I was with all the Italian relatives. But what happened is all of a sudden my mother was back in St. Louis with my much older brother who was 10 years old, okay? And she finally told my grandfather that she wanted the twins back in St. Louis.
Oh, my
Just like that,
goodness.
out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
yeah.
And lo and behold, you know,
my
and the
goodness.
twins never knew what the heck was going on. I mean, by this time we're 8 years old.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, one day, my grandmother and grandfather they just gave me a little suitcase and they put me in the street.
Yeah.
In this little town called Turbigo, and they said, "Look, Uncle Vincent is taking you and your brother back to your mother."
Oh, wow.
And I said, "Well, where is my mother?" I kind of lost track of her by this time.
oh my,
you know.
oh my.
And they said, "She's back in St. Louis." Oh, well, I just was so baffled by all this. It was just too much
course,
coming down
yeah,
at that
sure.
age. You know. Lo and behold, our uncle took us to Genoa, and he put us on a ship. And I do have to tell you a cute little anecdote about
Okay.
my Uncle Vincent.
Yeah.
He was preparing my brother Lawrence and I. He said, "Look, when you get to the big city, remember you're just 8 years old.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You might see somebody that has black skin instead of white skin.
Yeah,
But don't worry, they're just like us."
yeah.
Okay.
They are, that's right.
Yeah. And so I never knew what the heck he was talking about
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I never
yeah.
saw a person with black skin in Genoa. But anyway, there we go, and they put us on the ship,
Yeah.
and then we were taken back to St. Louis with a Chiodini family who promised to bring us back to my mother because they already had 8 children.
Yeah. Your mother had 8 children?
No, the Chiodini family.
okay,
Had
all
8
right.
children. And my mother was in St. Louis waiting for me.
Okay.
Okay. So now all of a sudden the Chiodini family decides to take 2 more, the twins.
Yeah.
And so they dropped us off in America when we hit them because they went to Heron, Illinois.
Yeah.
They got off first, and we got off second. And when we got off the train, we were wearing little badges like a suitcase
Yeah.
and
Picked
identify
up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
You know,
you were
but-
like immigrants.
immigrants.
Yeah.
No, with the tags and everything.
With the
like
tags and everything.
A delivery tag.
Yeah,
one of those
yeah.
things.
Because my family came into, they had to change their name and everything, and they came into, by boat and everything, and and the guy that was taking the what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Oh, that's all right. Okay, you got this name. Next.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so we got off this train in St. Louis, and there is this person, which is my mother, and my older brother, which I had no idea had an older brother. And I looked at my mother, and it was all so sudden to me that I said, "Oh, you're my aunt." I called her aunt. She looked just like my aunt in Italy.
Yeah.
I said, "What are you doing here?" And that really confused me even more. And I could not get it in my head that this wonderful woman was my mother. And
Oh,
she said,
my.
"I'm your mother. I'm your mother." Oh. And then at that moment, I just had a moment of silence within my heart, and I thought, "Oh my God, this has to be the only person in the world who loves me." And so, on that note and on that feeling, I decided that I was going to take care of my mother, love her forever, and do anything she wanted me to
Oh,
do.
that's wonderful.
And I became the perfect daughter.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, I
It's
did.
wonderful.
Absolutely.
But what about coming to New York? I wanted to hear
Well,
about New York.
anyway, the mere fact that I'm telling you this story about being the perfect daughter
Yeah.
is here I am with 2 brothers
Yeah.
that never lifted their finger from my mother.
Yeah.
But my mother used to say, "Look, I'm not going to let you in the kitchen because I have to really do it quickly, but I'm going to let you do the laundry on Saturday." Oh, big deal, the laundry on Saturday.
Now for sure you know she's your mother.
No, I don't. So
Now
I
for something more glamorous about, instead of doing the laundry, how did you become a Copacabana
Wait,
girl?
wait. I didn't get to. Let me get to the
Okay,
laundry
okay,
because it just
okay.
weaves right into the
Okay.
story. So I'm down there. My mother's a Taurus. I'm a Gemini. If you know anything about sign, Tauruses do everything the hard way, and Gemini do it quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
So my mother brings me down in the basement, and she said, "Okay, you do this color 10 minutes, and you do that color 10 minutes, and that color 30 minutes." And I'm saying, "Oh, this is ridiculous. I put them all in at once. I'm not going to do what she's going to tell me to do." So she trusted me, put me in the basement. This went on for years.
Yeah, okay.
And I got very bored doing the laundry. So
Yeah.
I started to go in the corner of the basement to look for all the newspapers that the people had put down there. The Globe Democrat, the
Yeah,
Post
yeah,
Dispatch.
yeah, yeah.
And then I found a lot of New York magazines, Chicago,
Yeah.
the Chicago Tribune.
Yeah, you say
And
Chicago, I say Chicago. And I come from Chicago.
There you go.
Okay, all right.
Forgive me.
Okay, all right.
In the meantime, lo and behold, I'm reading the Wall Street Journal, and I'm reading Billboard, I'm reading all these things from New York City. And as the years go by, I fall in love with those New York papers.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and I started to make a scrapbook down every Saturday afternoon with the laundry. I would make a scrapbook of everybody that became famous in show business that was from St. Louis.
And that's when you decided to go into show business and come to New York?
Something like that. It really
Uh-huh.
all ties in. As a matter of fact, the years go by,
Yeah.
and I have one thick book of one person. His name is Doug Cowdy, and he was the choreographer of the famous Copacabana at 10 East 60th Street, which is where it was happening at that time.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, when I finally grew up and came to New York, I came with the book
Oh,
of
my.
Doug Cowdy, and I went to 10 East 60th Street. I was so naive; it was unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went and I walked into the lobby of 10 East 60th Street, and I said, "Oh, I'm here to see Mr. Doug Cowdy. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and tell him I went to the Quaker School of Music." Just like that.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, this bellhop, whoever he was, he went to get Doug Cowdy. I wasn't even in the club. I was in the lobby there. In the meantime, Doug comes out. I said, "Hi, Doug," like I knew him forever.
Yeah.
I said, "Look, I got a scrapbook for you. And guess what? I've been doing it for 7 years, and it's all about you, and you're from St. Louis, and we adore you in St. Louis." And he takes the book.
Just to get a job.
Wait a minute. And he takes the book, and I'm standing back there, and I'm saying, "Well, what do you think? What do you think, Doug? What do you think? Do you think I'm pretty enough to be a Copa girl?"
Yeah. So what happened?
He said, "Oh, you're pretty enough." He said, "But you're a little tall.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we'll put you in the middle, and we'll get the girls to cascade down this way.
Oh my God, how wonderful.
And you know what? I was born
lucky.
so lucky. It was unbelievable. So finally, he said, I'll put you in the next show as a dancer, because he
Yeah.
knew I went to a dance school.
Good.
I said, oh, but Doug, I went to the Gregor School of Music. You want to hear me sing? I can sing in the lobby right now. I have music right here. And I've always carried my sheet music with me.
Yeah.
And I was ready to sing June is Busting Out All Over, which was from Oklahoma back in
And
the
just pin him up against the wall.
no, he said, no. He said, you be a dancer, okay? I'll get you in as a dancer. And for the next show, we'll get you in as the production singer,
Oh, how
which was a
wonderful.
big deal.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a
Danny,
big deal.
It was a big deal.
I
you
know.
You know why?
Why?
Because the song they gave me ended up on the hit parade.
Oh, how
Wow.
wonderful.
Isn't that interesting?
Isn't that
You're so
wonderful?
lucky.
Anyway, so I love New York City, and lo and behold, what happened? So you were mentioning something, Josiane.
Yeah.
You were mentioning something about the Latin Quarter.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
So
that
here
came
I
after,
am in
right?
New York,
Yes.
and I am just so naive, and I can't wait to get up every day. New York is so wonderful, and I want to walk around the streets and check everything out. I want to go to Steinway Hall. I want to go to Carnegie.
Tony, is this when you were 8 years old carrying the little suitcase?
No, I grew up a little.
You grew up a little bit, okay.
17 and a half.
So, okay, all right, okay.
I got a little
all right,
older.
okay.
I got a little older.
All right, so what happened in Latin Quarter?
Anyway, so I'm walking around the streets of New York, and everybody's coming up to me and they're saying, do you know Mr. Lou Walters? I said, no, I don't know Mr. Lou Walters. They said, he would like you. He likes tall girls just like you. Mr. Lou Walters would like you. So that's how I ended up at the Latin
Yeah.
Quarter.
Before you go any further, we're going to talk about New Orleans and all that. I'd like the control room to show a few pictures, please.
Oh,
Control
some
room, if
those
we could,
fabulous pictures
yes.
of Tony. Oh
right,
my,
right,
Tony.
Right. Yes.
Which one?
Control room. Could we see a few pictures,
Yeah,
please?
let's see those beautiful pictures.
Yeah,
Oh my, look at Toni
that.
Carroll.
Wow.
How beautiful. And this is an album that
This
you
one
cut
is
on
a
MGM
Tony.
Records.
Yes, I was with them for 7 years.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I made 7 albums, and they kept me working for 25 years on the road
Oh,
at
how
nightclubs.
wonderful, Tony.
Yes.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
And I
actually-
worked every nightclub from here to South America.
Oh my, how wonderful.
And,
Oh, look at you, Tony.
Oh, well, that one
The hit-
is still on Amazon.com. You
Yeah.
can find it
Yeah.
on Amazon.com with all my other tunes.
Yeah, these are beautiful. Look how beautiful you look, Tony. You look gorgeous.
Well, thank you. That was my dancing outfit.
Yeah, and there you are with
Barbara Walter.
Oh,
Barbara Walters.
Oh, yes, indeed. Well, actually, before we get to that picture, can I tell you how I got the job at the Latin Quarter?
Yeah, let's do that because with this,
Well,
he's doing the picture.
okay. Well, shall we continue? You
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
continue
yeah.
with the pictures?
Okay,
Or
all
you
right.
think you'll get there? All right.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So that picture is in the year of 2006. So
Okay,
we're
all right.
skipping
See Lou
ahead
Walter
now.
there?
And they renamed it Lou Walters Way. right?
Exactly, because Barbara Walters decided that she was going to memorialize her father, Mr. Lou
Wow.
Walters.
Yeah, and there you are. There you are.
There
picture.
I am. So meanwhile, Barbara Walters starts calling me on the phone.
Yeah.
She called me about 6 months ahead of time.
Yeah.
She says, look, we're going to memorialize my father on the corner of 48th Street and Broadway. She said, I want you to be there. Oh, sure, I'm sure I'll be happy to be there.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thrilled to death to hear
Of
from
course.
her. Are
Yeah.
you kidding?
That's wonderful.
In the meantime, she said, oh, can you sing that production number you used to sing? Remember that production number you used
Yeah.
to sing? And I was so baffled, I said, oh, sure. Oh, I would say yes to anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can do that number.
Okay,
I can do that.
okay.
So in the meantime, the day that I was supposed to go to this happening, I couldn't sleep all night. What was the song that I'm supposed to sing?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, so this is Gay Paris, come on along with me, step it out to see the Latin Quarter.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what finally happened,
Yeah.
I was singing the song all night long. Okay, I'll get all that.
Yeah.
All night long, and then all of a sudden the alarm went off, and it's time for me to go to 48th and Broadway
Yeah.
to meet Barbara Walters. Okay?
Yeah.
I finally get to the
Oh, look at you.
I get to the corner.
And
of-
there's Toni Carroll again.
Oh, wait a minute, let me finish the story.
Okay.
I get to the corner, and Barbara comes up with the microphone. She says, sing that song. And I said, so this is Gay Paris, come on along with me. Push
Yeah.
it out to see.
Yeah.
I was up all night singing it.
Yeah. Wow.
It was perfect.
Wow. And that was a
Totally
wonderful
unexpected.
album. The other one the last one that we showed was Toni Carroll singing in Spanish and Italian.
Yes,
Right.
yes, naturally.
Okay. Now, what was the other story that you wanted to do you want to interject?
About the Latin Quarter?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, back to, how I got the job.
Yeah.
So finally, my agent makes an appointment with Mr. Lou Walters so I could audition for the next production show. And it was a rainy afternoon in New York City, and I had on a very thin diaphanous dress, and my hair was long at the time. And all of a sudden, a rainstorm came upon us, and it was just like being in a shower. I was soaking wet. By the time I got to the theater, my dress was clinging to me like a bathing suit, and my hair was so wet I didn't know what to do with it. So I quickly rolled it like that and put it on the top, and I stuck one pin in it, and I'm now backstage, and I hear the piano player saying, Toni Carroll audition, you know.
Yeah, right.
So I look in my tote bag to get my sheet music, and all the music is soaking wet. Soaking wet.
So what'd you do?
There was only one tune that wasn't wet, and it was a French number.
Yeah.
And so I walked in and I handed it to the piano player,
Yeah.
and he started to play it, and I'm singing this number, and I hear a voice from the audience. It's Mr. Lou Walters.
Yeah, yeah.
He said, "Can you start next week?"
Oh, that's
And did you
wonderful.
tell him, no, I can start right now?
I tell you, I just wasn't that poised to say anything because I couldn't even see who that was out
Yeah,
there.
all right, yeah.
So that's how I got my job. And Mr. Lou Walters was the most fabulous man I ever met. He was just like a father to
Yeah.
every one of the girls
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
in the show. And he was always there to undergird you, whatever your goals
To
were in
encourage
life.
you,
And
yeah.
he was just wonderful. Yeah, I do remember a lot of stories
Yeah,
about
that
the Latin
wonderful.
Quarter.
How was it at the Latin Quarter as far as singing, the ambience and all that? How was it? Was it very cheerful? Was it?
Oh, it was very cheerful. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, backstage was always lovely, and Mr. Lou Walters was always backstage, and Barbara Walters used to come backstage with her sister, and everybody loved her little sister. She wasn't really her little sister. She just looked a little.
Oh,
She was
okay.
shorter. Okay,
Yeah.
But I remember this story that her sister loved Johnny Ray. I don't know if you remember
Oh, I
Johnny
remember
Ray.
Cry, the old song
Cry.
Cry. Used to sing like that. Cry. I remember.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And lo and behold, she was madly in love with Johnny Ray.
Yeah.
And he finally gave her a 8x10 picture. She made that little girl very happy. Yeah. But what was it like backstage?
And also the dressing room, the dances. How was it?
And the girls in the dressing room.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, to get to the dressing room, there was a very long stairway. It was a round, long stairway, and the dressing room was very long and skinny. And the showgirls were at the front of the dressing room. In the middle, you had the dancers. We had beautiful can-can dancers, and then the singers. That's me at the other end of the dressing room. So I used to hear everything that was going on with the showgirls and everything that was going on with the dancers.
You used to hear everything?
The
Wow.
gossip. But I want to tell you what was really interesting, though.
Okay.
The showgirls had the most fun.
Well, of course they
They
did.
had the
Yes,
most
Yes.
fun.
Did you hear any exotic moans and noises coming
No,
from the
no
dressing room?
moans.
No,
but
no,
I
okay.
remember we had one showgirl who was exquisite. Her name was Carla.
Yeah.
She was 6'2". And she had the most perfect figure. It was as if somebody had drawn a magnificent picture.
An hourglass figure?
Not quite hourglass.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah.
Not in those
But,
days.
yeah.
It was just perfect proportions.
Oh, all right, okay.
Untouchable beauty.
Yeah.
One of those things. Anyway, so finally, when I went to write the book, which is called Legs Galore, which is all about
Yeah.
the Latin Quarter.
Oh, can we get a shot of that? Let's see. Oh,
Legs
yeah,
galore.
look at that.
Yeah.
Well, I
Very
went
good,
to
yeah.
interview Carla, this beautiful girl that I'm telling you about.
Yeah.
And I said, Carla, my God, look at your picture. How exquisite you were. Oh, my God. I said, tell me, what did you do? What did you do? What was it like on New Year's Eve, Carla? And Carla stood straight up and said, honey, I was New Year's Eve.
I was New Year's Eve, huh? Wow.
Modest.
I was New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
But
and that
then-
all came out of the dressing room.
All of the dressing, just listening, just
Okay,
listening,
all right.
listening. In the meantime, we had another girl by the name of Betty George. She's not with us anymore, so I guess I can mention
Yeah,
her name.
all right, okay.
And she was having the best time. She was out with a guy between each show. We had 3 shows a night. And she'd be out with Marlon Brando for the first break.
Wow.
The second break, Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
And the third break was Walter Winchell. She loved Walter Winchell.
Oh,
he was
my.
very famous in his day.
Yes, I know. I know.
And you'll have to
I know. Okay.
As a matter of fact, she would hang out with Walter Winchell at night because Walter Winchell was a columnist.
That's right. And he gave me a wonderful review when I used to work.
And that made you a hit because he was
Well,
famous for that.
Whatever.
Remember?
Yeah, but I didn't get a sore head though when they hit me. Yeah. All right. Okay. Go ahead,
Whatever.
Tony. Go
All right.
ahead. Okay.
Anyway, so lo and behold, all right, so then we had the other side of the coin. All right. What happened, Josie Ann, is that we had one girl, a beautiful girl. She used to be on all the billboard signs and everything. And she was really career-minded. And she brought her own special blanket or something.
Yeah.
And while everybody was out having a good time between shows, she would make a bed underneath all the wardrobe. The wardrobe was hanging there, and she'd sleep there underneath the wardrobe, because the next day she had jobs. She was doing commercials.
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
modeling on 7th Avenue for the
that's
fashion.
wonderful,
and,
yeah.
and she was studying to be a wonderful actress.
Yeah, great.
And so that was the opposite of the coin, you see.
Yeah.
And so she caught up on her sleep in between shows, and so we wonder, did she wake up in time for her cue?
Yeah.
Well, she had to wake up because here came these 6-foot gorgeous women. They would step all over her, just trying to get their wardrobe off.
Yeah.
off
Would
the
anybody
hook.
come in and say, "Get up, get up, get up, get up"?
They woke her up.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Very
right.
interesting. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
What else about that?
What else
Yeah,
about that? Wait a
but-
minute. She was on The View also.
Yeah,
She was
yeah,
just on The
but
View.
that-
Oh,
Was she-
I-
That was
actually,
with Barbara
that
Walter,
came,
yes.
yeah, Tim, let me tell you how that came about. So when Barbara Walters brought us to the corner of 48th Street with Mayor Bloomberg,
Yeah.
NBC, ABC, every network was there. Naturally, the next day we were on every one of the shows.
Yeah,
we
well,
were on
that's
The
wonderful.
View.
Yeah.
We were on.
Give you a good PR, yeah. That's
Yeah.
wonderful, yeah. Everybody watch it. That's one thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to?
Well, I'm
Well,
not. Let me
in
see.
1977, I don't know if the date is correct, by the way. The Copa Girl alumni was produced a yearly entertainment show that raised funds for needy cases. Was it okay? Was it correct?
In 1977?
Yeah.
Actually, I have to correct that.
Okay.
That's the year that the
The
Latin
alumni.
Quarter closed. I'll tell you why.
Oh, because I have it in my notes. The Copa Girl alumni.
Yeah.
Every year. with
No,
a-
you mean the Latin Quarter.
La-
no.
oh, Latin
anyway.
Quarter, yeah.
Okay, see this piece of rock?
Okay.
Can you see this rock?
Let's see.
Okay. Okay, it was in 1977. This is why I'm sure.
Hold it up so that everyone can see
I'm
it.
sure of the date.
Yeah, right there.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sure of the date. You know why? Because when they were tearing down the original Latin Quarter at 47 and 48th Street, I went down to get this rock, a piece of the Latin Quarter.
Oh,
Wonderful.
my.
Because it meant so much to me.
Yeah.
And as you can see, I had it labeled.
Yeah, it says Toni Carroll, Broadway's Latin Quarter, New York, 1990.
Yes.
And there's a nice little star there
Yeah.
on the bottom.
Well, that's the year they tore down
Yeah,
the building.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now, as you know, is a hotel.
Yeah.
And it's the Olive Garden restaurant.
Wonderful.
yeah.
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 So anyway, I love this. It's my favorite paperweight because it's filled with wonderful
Sure.
memories of
Yeah.
Mr.
Oh,
Lewis
that's
Walters,
wonderful.
who
So
is a great
wonderful.
man, and he was my mentor, and I will never ever forget him.
Yeah, isn't that great?
He was
Now,
wonderful.
in my notes it says that you shared the spotlight with Sammy Davis Jr., Jimmy Durante, Lena Horne, Martin and Lewis, Sinatra. I mean,
Okay, so now
wow.
we're going to the Copa.
Yeah,
to
let's
the
go.
Copa.
Let's see what happened.
Okay, so here in the back at the Copa, that was my first job. Remember, at the Copa. So those are the stars of the show: Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, Sammy Davis Jr.
It's very exciting.
It was exciting. As a matter of fact, it was surreal. I couldn't believe this was happening to me.
Yeah.
It was a big jump to go from St. Louis, Missouri, to my
course.
mother's basement doing the
That's
laundry.
right. 8 years old with a little suitcase coming to New York. Fabulous.
You know, and all of a
You came a
sudden,
long way, baby.
I'm with these fabulous people at the famous Copacabana. And so I call them my college professors because I watched them very carefully.
Yeah, yeah.
The comedians, I watched their timing. The singers, I watched the way they develop a song.
Yeah.
And then Lena Horne was my favorite. She was my favorite teacher.
Yeah.
She was so exquisite. Everything about her was impeccable. She was a beautiful woman to begin with.
Yeah.
And her the way she dressed, her gowns were more beautiful than anything you'd ever see in the movies.
Yeah, she's a fabulous singer.
A fabulous singer,
Yeah.
fabulous.
Oh,
And if I could get up, I would show you how she took her bows.
Yeah.
She was the most graceful female I ever met in my whole life.
And my old friend Sidney Lumet loved her.
Sidney Lumet.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Lenny Hayden was her husband.
Oh, I understand that, but Sidney, no, I think married her daughter.
Oh, that's possible.
Yeah, I
her
think
daughter
that's-
used to come backstage.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
a matter of fact, Lena Horne shared the dressing room with us at the Copacabana.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
she was just so down to earth and so generous.
Yeah.
And very beautiful, even without her makeup.
You know, we have about 3 minutes left.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we're really now
Oh
towards the
my.
end of our
Yeah,
show.
and
so
we're going to have to continue this on another
no,
show
no,
over
but
here.
before that, I want Toni to give us, to our viewers, your feelings, your emotions, what you think, whatever. So the word is yours to our viewers. So
Yes, Josie Ann, I'm glad
express
you
what
brought
you-
that up.
Yeah, and also-
I do want to talk to
And
the
also
people
your
out there.
special dream. Your special dream.
Oh,
That's
we'll
what
get
we were
around to
talking.
that.
That
But I want to tell the youngsters out there, if you do have a dream and that dream is full of passion to be in show business, you can do it. You can do it. You don't have to have a rich aunt or a rich uncle. Just get out there and participate in all the programs that you see at school. For example, I know they have dancing classes at school. Go to the local Y, get involved with all the singing, get into a choral group, and then take your favorite singer. Take your favorite singer and keep listening to the singer. And if you have an instrument around, like a piano, for example, or maybe you can borrow a piano, just go to the piano and play the scales and listen to the notes in the scale so that you get a perfect pitch.
That's right.
As you listen to those notes very carefully, listening is the big part of being skillful and good in show business. And anybody can do it. Listen, if I can do it, you can do it.
That's right. That's right. And also, what about that? What is this a special dream? Was that the special dream, or is there another one attached?
There was another one attached.
Well, we have another minute if you can just squeeze it in.
Well, as a matter of fact, the special dream
Yeah.
is that I'm also a writer. I've written a lot of screenplays.
Yeah.
And I've just finished a screenplay for Hollywood movies called Toni's Oil Story. It's a true story about a female that finds oil and gas on the North American continent and makes headlines in Canada, in every newspaper in Canada, and in America. And that's how I get invited to be on the Johnny Carson Show.
Oh my, that's right, Johnny Carson show. How many other shows were you on? Tell me.
Oh God! Every 2 weeks I was on a different show, coast to coast.
Oh, fabulous!
So
Isn't that fabulous?
what a life.
Yeah.
What a wonderful
Well,
life.
they got to listen to the next show
Oh, absolutely.
to get more of Toni Carroll.
Oh yes, the next show, and I'll be there.
We're looking forward to. We're really looking
Thank you
forward
very
to.
much.
That was
I'm done,
wonderful.
okay?
You did wonderful.
Yes, you did absolutely
We
wonderful.
have another one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Drew,
wait, I haven't changed my clothes.
finalize everything and we're ready for the next one.
Yeah.
You see how great it went? We didn't talk about your husband.
Well, we're going to get to on the
Yeah.
next show. Got to stay
No,
tuned for the
we're
next show.
going to talk about the Tonight Show, how I got on it,
Okay.
Yes,
the
yes.
oil and gas business, how I got
Okay, we
into
gotta
it.
hurry.
And we're going to show your pictures of